I broke Jake's jaw.
His teeth look a bit removed as well.
Yeah, his teeth have come out of place. But credit to him, he done well. But I told him what was going to happen, but it just took 6 rounds to do that.
People will criticise you for going 6 rounds with Jake Paul. How do you feel about that?
I deserve it.
Why? Come on.
Because, like, we're elite fighters. Like, so I put myself in the shoes of a coach. If I was coaching Anthony Joshua and he went 6 rounds with Jake Paul, I would get him back in the gym tomorrow, give him a bit of a beating, and we're getting straight back to work, because I'll be like, how are you letting this kid take you 6 rounds? Are you crazy? In boxing, there's a time when you systematically break someone down and you see their soul leaving their body. And after a period of time, 2 things start to happen to them. Either they give up or they get knocked out. And there was a bit of a mix. I said to myself, I'm not gonna knock you out. I am gonna systematically punish you round after round. And like, I wanted it to be slow and methodical. I swear, may I drop down now? And I just kept on hitting him. Sorry, go.
No, you hit me as much.
I hit you for everyone in England. I was hitting him. I kept on hitting him, and I could see I had that mentality where I was like, remember in the press conference I said he's Iverson and I'm Jordan, and I was like, I'm gonna just keep breaking him down because he was elusive. He was moving well.
Joe Rogan reacts to Jake Paul's knockout loss with laughter alongside Anthony Joshua, calling the fight a clear mismatch from the start. Rogan explains that Jake usually faces retired fighters or MMA opponents, not a legitimate Olympic champion heavyweight. He stresses that Joshua is not only elite, but also far above Jake's natural weight class. From a realistic boxing perspective, Rogan says the outcome was obvious long before the first punch was thrown, and the results simply confirmed expectation. After the fight, Anthony Joshua made a strong post-fight statement, saying the knockout actually saved Jake Paul. He explains that if the fight had continued, he would have completely broken him down mentally and physically. Joshua suggests the early finish prevented even more damage inside the ring. Anthony Joshua, being linked with a so-called circus fight against Jake Paul, immediately divides opinion across boxing. Many see it as a spectacle rather than a sporting contest, with the size, experience, and pedigree difference being impossible to ignore. Joshua is a 2-time heavyweight champion and Olympic gold medalist, while Jake Paul is still learning the sport. The matchup feels more like entertainment built for numbers than a genuine boxing challenge, which is why critics label it a circus rather than a fight. Simon Jordan reacts strongly after Anthony Joshua breaks Jake Paul's jaw with a knockout, calling the entire event damaging to boxing's credibility.
I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up.
He argues that such fights blur the line between sport and spectacle and take attention away from meaningful competition. Jordan emphasizes that Joshua has already earned generational wealth and legacy, so he does not need novelty fights. Even if a Tyson Fury bout never happens, Jordan says Joshua's financial security means walking away would not be surprising. Joe Rogan praises Anthony Joshua by highlighting his speed, athleticism, and devastating power. Rogan explains that Joshua moves like someone much lighter than a heavyweight and carries a one-punch knockout ability that changes fights instantly. He calls Joshua a nightmare matchup because of how quickly he can close distance and end exchanges. According to Rogan, these traits make it unrealistic for crossover fighters to compete with him at a serious level. Adam Booth gives a brutally honest breakdown and notes that Jake Paul did manage to make Anthony Joshua miss at moments, which he considers significant. Booth says Jake's movement and positioning showed improvement and discipline, forcing Joshua to reset rather than land freely. While Booth makes it clear this does not mean Jake was winning, he acknowledges that creating hesitation against an elite heavyweight is a big deal and shows progress in Jake's development. Continuing his analysis, Adam Booth explains that making a fighter like Joshua miss is not accidental and requires preparation, timing, and confidence. Booth says Jake's footwork and willingness to stay composed under pressure deserve credit. However, he also stresses that these moments do not change the overall reality of the fight. Joshua's class, power, and experience still dictated the outcome once he found his opening.
Moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's two things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart.
Meanwhile, in the aftermath, attention shifts to Logan Paul, appearing to intimidate Anthony Joshua and talking about revenge for his brother. Logan reportedly expresses interest in fighting Joshua, but analysts immediately dismiss the idea as far more mismatched than Jake's fight. They point out that Jake trains full-time with professional boxing coaches, while Logan lacks that level of commitment and skill. A Logan versus Joshua fight would be even more one-sided. Further discussion around the aftermath reinforces that Logan Paul's pursuit of Anthony Joshua would cross from spectacle into outright farce. Analysts argue that even Jake, despite losing, showed he belongs in professional boxing at a basic level. Logan, by comparison, is seen as far less polished and less serious. The consensus is that such a fight would offer nothing competitive and would only increase criticism of boxing's direction. Sugar Sean O'Malley breaks down the fight aftermath by focusing on Jake Paul's mindset going into the bout. He says the trash talk and confidence Jake showed before the fight were misunderstood by critics. According to O'Malley, Jake needed that talk to mentally prepare himself to step into the ring with a two-time Olympic champion. O'Malley explains that belief and self-talk are essential when facing overwhelming odds, even if the result goes against you. O'Malley adds that without that mental edge, Jake would not have been able to perform at all under the pressure. He believes the criticism ignores how difficult it is to share a ring with someone of Joshua's caliber. While the loss was decisive, O'Malley argues that Jake's approach showed respect for the challenge and highlighted the psychological demands of fighting an elite heavyweight. Teddy Atlas explains that his prediction about the fight going several rounds was based on real boxing factors, not any fixed or staged idea. He points to Anthony Joshua's long layoff, the knockout loss in his previous fight, and the mental hesitation that naturally follows. Atlas says those ghosts take time to clear, especially for a fighter who is not a fast starter. He also mentions the larger ring size, which gave Jake Paul more room to move and survive early. Atlas believes Jake had a serious game plan focused on movement and endurance. But once the pressure increased, the air became thin. According to Atlas, Jake reached a level he had never experienced before, mentally and physically. The combination of Joshua's pressure, Jake's muscular build causing faster fatigue, and the intensity of elite competition led to Jake gassing. Atlas firmly states the fight was real and decided by boxing realities.
World title in everyone's imagination. That's the heavyweight champ. You were here. Everyone else was here. But since then, the feeling has been Joshua makes all this money fighting anyway, 30 million pounds, whatever it is. Why should he take 40 or 50 to fight Wilder when he's making against anybody? He can make 30, 40 million pounds, whatever it is.
When this fight was first announced, you had said something to the effect of this would end Jake Paul's career. After what you saw tonight, do you think that Jake should continue to box, or what do you think the future holds for him?
Yeah, I really take my hat off. So, I mean, we have to see if it is a broken jaw. Those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, like that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights. And I know he went down heavy, but you know, he was conscious on the floor. And I thought his game plan, although obviously very negative early on, which it had to be, was smart at times. And there were times where he held his feet and let his hands go. You know, it was a very one-sided fight. It was always going to be a one-sided fight. But you can't you know, you can't give him anything but credit and respect. There's a lot of negative people out there. There's a lot of people who want to criticise people. They're not doing what Jake Paul's done. He just went in with Anthony Joshua and gave it his best shot. Took a lot of punishment and ended the fight eventually on his feet.
Paul's Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi give a harsh but honest breakdown of the fight, focusing on how badly it ended for Jake Paul. They point out that Jake suffered serious damage, including a jaw broken in 2 places and lost teeth, yet still failed to earn respect from boxing fans. According to Chris, fans were not entertained because Jake never truly tried to fight. He believes Jake would have been better off going out aggressively, even if that meant getting knocked out earlier. Chris compares it to the saying, "Fighters earn respect when they actually attempt to win." Paulie expands on this by explaining that Jake's hit-and-run style was never sustainable. He says moving constantly drains the legs and only delays the inevitable. Especially in a big ring, Paulie adds that Jake simply does not have the boxing skills to move and box effectively at the same time. As a novice, Paulie explains, a fighter can either fight hard or run, but not mix both. Jake chose survival, and both analysts agree that choice ultimately hurt his standing with boxing fans far more than an early knockout would have.
I don't think it was a moral victory because he expected to win. I do think he showed who he is as a fighter. I think he deployed the strategy that he was very clear about going into, that he was going to look to make AJ miss, and AJ missed a number of times. And ultimately, I think the weight of AJ caught up to Jake Paul. If you look at the first 3 rounds, AJ wasn't really able to touch him. But when AJ was in a clinch with him a couple of times, pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round, Jake engaged for a clinch, AJ moved back and started punching down on Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times. 1, by just jabbing in the air, and 2, when he caught him, he moved AJ back. AJ came right back in and swung, but he did.
In the end, this one felt inevitable. A mismatch on paper that played out the same way in the ring. Anthony Joshua's size, speed, and one-punch power proved decisive. At the same time, Jake Paul showed flashes of improvement, heart, and the kind of defensive movement that suggests he is learning but not yet ready to bridge the gap to an elite Olympic-level heavyweight. The fallout highlights 2 competing storylines. Critics who view these crossover bouts as a circus-style spectacle that damages boxing's credibility, and supporters who give credit for the mental toughness it takes to step up to a real challenge. Whatever your view, the result reinforced the simple boxing truth the experts kept returning to. Class, experience, and power win fights. That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next time.